AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. Well, it's time for our sixth and final show of the day. We have Sheri Calbom. She has been on the show before. She is the juice lady, and she's going to show you some really cool recipes to balance your hormones. She's going to make a soup. And she's going to demystify the process of eating more fruits and vegetables simply by incorporating more juicing into your life. Please welcome Sheri back to the show. It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you. Thank you. It's great to be back on your show. I'm so happy to be juicing for your lovely audience. We got a lot of vegetables to go through here. Yeah.
Well, so Sheri, I have not seen you since you've been to Rancho after many years. So tell me about that experience.
Well, following on your heels and because of your inspiration, I called them. I hadn't been there in a long time. So I went twice. It was my husband said, "What are you doing?" 2 months in a row. But it was wonderful to be there and juicing for them and lecturing about juice in January and February. It was a fabulous week. I know you were there last summer in August as a guest chef. So it's a beautiful place, just lush and gorgeous and fabulous food and a wonderful experience.
Yeah, it's really great. Did you work with Victoria? Is she your go-to person? Is she your contact person?
She's my go-to. Yeah,
Yeah. Did she remember you?
she did. And
Oh,
she said,
nice.
of all things, she had just pulled out my first juice book, which was Juicing for Life. That's the one that sold 2 million copies. So a lot of people have it. And she said, "I was just looking at your book, and there you did. You called me up."
That
Oh,
was meant to be. We call it Bashir. Now, do they have juicers at Rancho or did you have to bring your own?
I brought my own because I like mine better. But
Yeah.
they do have a juicer and they have a juice bar.
Yep, they do. That's new. The juice smoothie bar that's over by the pool.
Yes. Yeah, I was a
I'm
little.
going again August 17th through 24th. We only have a few spots left in my group. If anybody's interested, we're going to be doing a couple of shows from Rancho March 12th and 13th with Chef Raina. So I'm excited. What did you do at Rancho other than teach your classes?
Oh, so I had stretch every morning at 9. I
Yep.
love to start my morning movement with stretch and of course you walk whether you want to or not, because if you want to eat, you got to walk, right? And you walk about 4 miles a day minimum. So I got in a lot of walks. I love sound healing in the afternoon. I don't go to sleep until somebody starts snoring or something. No,
That is my favorite class of all, sound healing. You bet.
isn't it beautiful?
It's the best. Oh, absolutely. So, in case people don't know who you are, maybe tell a little bit about yourself. And I know you had a great story last time you were on about your husband having some success in his health by implementing these principles.
Yes, so I'll try to just go through this quickly, but I got started juicing years ago before I ever got my master's in nutrition because I was really sick. I had chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia. No one could help me. No doctor knew what to do. They still don't about those conditions. And I went to health food stores finally because I thought maybe somebody could help me there. And they said I was eating everything all wrong. So you all will just like sigh when you hear I love junk food, fast food. I hated vegetables, and I was a sugaraholic. So no wonder I was sick in my 20s. And somebody told me about juice fasting. I bought my first juicer. I went on a 5-day juice fast. On the 5th day, my body expelled a tumor about that size, about the size of a golf ball, with blue blood vessels attached. So what I learned later in my master's thesis studies, that was angiogenesis, the growth of blood vessels out to tumors, and the phytonutrients in vegetables have been shown in studies to cut that blood supply off. So I saw what had happened. That really got my attention. I was not well immediately, but when I went on the vegan diet, juicing and eating just mostly vegetables in many forms. And in 3 months, I was totally well, totally ready to go back to work. But last year we had a scare with my husband. He had a fast growing little tumor in his bladder, and it was high grade and fast growing. And so we took off for Mexico to Oasis of Hope. They have a beautiful vegan program there, a plant-based program is what they call it, and many holistic treatments. And the wonderful news right now is that he is tumor free.
That's amazing. Now, when you say you expelled a tumor, like where did it come out of?
Well, so what is recommended when you do a juice fast is to do colonics or enemas or something to release. So that's how it was released. And
Wow.
at 20 something, I was like, oh, gee, look at, wow, I think this thing was about to kill me. And there it goes. So it's very exciting for me to see what happens with juicing. I should just tell everybody I've written a book called Fasting, and it's all about juice fasting, raw foods fasting, or vegan food fasting. You can do all sorts of fasts, and they're all effective in different ways.
Nice. Very cool. So what are you going to make for us today?
Okay, so I'm going to quickly run through this ginger, turmeric, immune booster shot, and I'm going to take the lid off this. I'm just going to dump everything in. So I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I've got ginger root. I've got about a quarter of a lemon. I've got half an apple I'm putting in, and I've got two nice chunks, if you can see these here, of fresh turmeric root, all organic from our local little market. And I'm going to juice that up and make a shot. You can probably see the juice coming out here in a moment. I'm going to make a ginger turmeric shot. This is wonderful for all year long as a preventative. But if you get sick, if you feel like you've got a sore throat, you've got something coming on, a cold, a flu, whatever, boy, this is powerful. I don't do this for taste because this is not the most tasty thing that I can make, but it is highly, highly effective. So what I do is just to pour it like this in a little shot glass. Look at that. And we've got our ginger turmeric immune boosting shot.
They
Mhm.
serve something like that every day at breakfast at Rancho, you know?
They do. And I did miss my shot one morning. I've been there 2 weeks. Yes, and a lot of people get those there. It is loaded with anti-inflammatory, rich ginger root and turmeric, and great for the immune system, and rich in zinc, the ginger is. So give it a try, especially if
Yeah.
you're very good.
I used to take that in the morning and just throw it in the other juice they make, the green juice they make every morning.
Oh, yeah, you can combine them. And that would be good too. Yeah, they have a beautiful green juice that they serve each morning. I'm going to go on now to the sugar balancing juice. And I want to talk to you about that for just a moment, because lots of people contact me all the time and say, I have diabetes or I have pre-diabetes. I guess I can't juice, right? No, that's not true. You can, but what you choose to juice is very, very important. You want to keep your sugars very low, and you want to balance your sugar, especially when you're juicing. And if you have sugar metabolism issues, or if you have hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, then you want to make sure that you balance your blood sugar. And I've got a couple of studies I want to talk about, but green beans have been shown to be very, very supportive of the pancreas. And I always recommend anybody with diabetes that says to me, what can I do to begin to correct this situation so that I can manage it with diet? Get a lot of green beans in your diet, juice them up, juice a lot of greens. I'm going to put in some romaine lettuce leaf in here as well. I've got some cucumber going in. I want to point out too, I'm using the Nama J2 juicer, and I love it because you can put everything in your upper chamber. And as you saw before, it just juices for you. Then you can walk away and clean up your kitchen or do other things, make yourself some lunch or whatever you want to do, but you don't have to stand there and feed your produce into the juicer. I am going to put in something that I haven't done before. This is a turnip. Not everybody knows what a turnip is, including some produce people at the market that I went to. I was asking where the turnips were, and they didn't exactly know what a turnip was. So I hadn't always known what a turnip is either. But I want to tell you something about a turnip. It has been shown in scientific studies to reduce fat in the liver. How cool is that? Because so many people are contacting me as a nutritionist to say, what do I do about fatty liver? Fatty liver is on the rise, let me tell you, and it's non-alcoholic fatty liver. And why in the world is that? Because people are eating too much sugar, especially the horrible stuff that's in packaged foods, that high fructose corn syrup that they sneak in on people, but also it's just sugar in everything today. And we've really got to watch the sugars. So here we go. This is the blood sugar balancing cocktail that I'm making for you. I'm going to open this so that you can see the juice pouring out. But I also want to talk to you about green beans. And there's a study that has shown green beans can help to shrink tumors. And that is, I think, really very cool as well. So as I've been looking at fruits and vegetables and looking at studies about them lately, I just did a class, Zoom class on healing cancer. I looked at one vegetable after another and studies on different phytonutrients in those vegetables that fought cancer, helped halt angiogenesis, that's the growth of those blood vessels to tumors and so forth. So we don't think about veggies as being so powerful, but they are. They're powerful and they're healing and they're vital to our diet. And how do you get more of those in? You know, there's so many ways, but juicing is one where you can get a lot in a glass.
That juicer's pretty quiet.
It is. And I was just thinking that because, you know, here I am talking over the juicer and it's not making a loud sound. Like my husband used to, we have like one big room with a family room down here in the kitchen. And he would always say, he's trying to listen to the news, you can turn that thing down and sound like a plane getting ready to take off. Just been so quiet. He never says a word. It doesn't make a lot of noise. So I'm going to pour this in my glass. And what I love about this little spout, you can close it, it doesn't drip all over your counter as well. So here we go. This is the sugar balancing cocktail. And maybe it isn't the prettiest color on earth, but it does wonders for your body.
Yeah, and if the color bothers you, just put it in a dark glass.
Yeah, there. Oh, thank you. There you go. Yes, or a mug, you know, a big, tall, dark mug. That is perfect. I'm going to move on now to my liver detox juice because this is another question I've been getting, and I just got this today. I love to address questions that I get online because I figure if there's one out there, there's probably many, many more. And so this was from a young man who was starting a new job, driving a truck, and got brain fog and worried about it, right? And what is causing brain fog? Well, there's two things that I know are really connected to the brain. One is the gut-brain connection. There's been a lot of information about that lately. The other is the liver-brain connection. And oftentimes with toxic liver, people will have brain fog. And so we want to cleanse that liver. We want to work on doing that. And why are more people getting toxic liver today? There's so many toxins in our environment. Toxins in the air, the water, the soil. And if we're not eating, you know, a really great diet, a lot of toxins in what we eat. So we want to work on that liver. And beets are a natural remedy that are wonderful for the liver. And I'm going to put in, this is about a half a medium-sized beet. You can certainly use more. I'm going to put in some cucumber. I'm going to put in a nice chunk of ginger. Ginger, again, just to remind you, is an anti-inflammatory. It's rich in zinc, and it is wonderful to put. I put it in almost every juice I make because inflammation is the real cause of heart disease. It isn't high cholesterol, it's inflammation. And we want to get that inflammation down. I'm also putting in some lime. I did take the peel off this lime, but I left a lot of that white pithy part. And that is where your bioflavonoids and vitamin C are concentrated. And so we want to leave a lot of that on. If you can't find organic limes or lemons, then just take off that outer peel because they're pretty close to the clean 15 on the, you know, EWG.org list of dirty dozen and clean 15. They're down closer to clean 15. And so there goes a little more cucumber in there, and we're gonna get started. Now, this juice is pretty because beets make a pretty juice. But include beets often. And there's a lot of study right now on beets and what they do for you. One study has shown that beet juice lowered blood pressure. 2 cups of beet juice, I'm looking at my study right now, a day, and it lowered blood pressure. And people who drank beet juice for 6 days noticed greater stamina in their exercise programs. So isn't that cool? We see a lot of beet chew commercials. If you watch much TV, you'll see them. And you can do the real thing. Make your own beet juice and different beet recipes, but it's wonderful for the liver.
Very cool.
We're ready. There's our beautiful beet juice pouring out with some tasty additions. And I'm going to turn off the juicer and we'll give this a pour.
Do you start your day with juice every day?
I do. I love to start my day with juice. I feel so energized when I drink juice. And there's our beautiful beet juice.
Yeah.
So juice for kids, color is important to children. They love red, they love orange, and they don't mind dark green.
They just don't like the brown.
Exactly. So if you've got something going and you got a little brown showing up, then add a little beet because it'll just change everything. It's such a pretty color. I love the bright red beet juice. Make sure I get that under there. And I'm going to end up with, we've got 2 more juices to go. How are we doing on time?
We're good. No, that's fine, Sheri. Somebody's asking what type of juicer are you using?
So I'm using the Nama J2, and it's spelled N-A-M, Mary A, J2. And if you use my code Juice Lady, and that's easy to remember, you'll get $55 off. Shipping is always free. Let me tell you, you will love this juicer. I've used almost every juicer out there, and it's the best one I've ever used. Just because it's so easy. It's easy to clean. You can see it's so easy. Just put your stuff in, turn it on, and walk away. So that's what I love about it. And I did take this one to Rancho Puerta. I took it across the Mexico.
Did you drive there or fly there?
The first time I flew, and the second time we drove. I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm about 5.5 hours from Tecate, and we drove and parked on the US side. So now I'm making limeade. You can do lemonade, limeade. This is another peeled lime. Or you can do all sorts of like berry lemonade, on and on it goes. But the key is to get a couple of apples in, and I'm putting these in whole. You don't have to cut everything up in little pieces. And I'm adding some ginger to this. And I just wanted to talk for a moment about ginger because there are some studies on ginger that I thought were pretty cool. And this one I'm looking at lowered blood sugar as well as inflammation, proven in scientific study to lower that blood sugar and to lower inflammation. So what am I doing here? There we go. And to make sure that's under there. And here goes our limeade. And ginger, there's another study that I wanted to talk about. They found that people who took 2 grams of ginger, and how much is 2 grams? It's about a tablespoon of grated ginger. So these nice chunks of ginger I've been putting in there are about 2 grams. And it showed, listen to this, because a lot of people have this. It lowered muscle pain. How many people, I hear this all the time, have muscle pain, joint pain, always looking for remedies to lower and improve pain like that. Well, start juicing up ginger because that's one way you can get a lot of it into your diet. You know, otherwise you're making recipes and you're putting a little grated ginger, a little finely chopped up ginger, you're not getting that much, but you can get a lot of ginger when you juice it.
I
And
find it so strong, Sherry. Like even at Rancho, I find they put too much ginger in. I wish there was a way to mitigate it and make it less spicy for me.
it is spicy. It has a bite. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Uh, I think in a recipe like this, where you've got the apple and you've got other things combined, it does bring that spicy bite down. Okay,
Yeah. One of the viewers on Instagram named April saying her favorite juice is fennel, celery, and apple every other morning.
oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Unfortunately, Instagram folks, this is a YouTube show that we are all now lately allowed to stream here. So you can't see any of the written recipes because Instagram doesn't allow the 5,000 character show notes. So if you hop on over to YouTube, everything is right there for you.
Okay, so this is limeade. Now I followed the beet juice, so we've got some red in here. We won't have much beet flavor, but I do have red. So this is going to actually look like beet limeade. Delicious. It's delicious. So just remember when you're making any kind of base, because we always want things to taste good, right? If we possibly can get them to taste good. Just remember a lemonade base, like a couple of apples and a half a lemon will make a really nice base for all sorts of things you would want to add. You can even do like green lemonade and put all sorts of greens in there. So I'm going to go on. This is like the finale. I'm going to do a raw soup and I'll make the carrot juice first. Get rid of this beet juice from here. And then I'm going to add it to the blender. And I'm going to add avocado and cumin. And this is just a delicious energy soup. And people that do juice fasting often will say to me, I just can't do just juice all day. I just, people will say, I feel like lightheaded, spacey, whatever. So you can do a smoothie or like this energy soup. So I'm putting in carrots and I'm going to get about a cup, maybe a cup and a half with 5 medium large carrots is what I'll just put in there. I'm going to get probably about a cup and a half of carrot juice. And then I'm going to use my Vitamix. And while this is juicing, I'm going to add my avocado. I'm going to put in half of a large avocado and about a half teaspoon of cumin. If you love cumin, you can add a little more. If cumin's not particularly your thing, you can add less, like a quarter of a teaspoon. And you just blend it up, and you've got your beautiful raw soup. So we're almost there. Oh, and while that's coming out, if you can see this, the pulp is super dry, super dry. So if you're looking for a great juicer, that's one sign you got a good juicer is your pulp is dry. Because if it's soggy, you're getting a lot of juice being thrown out unless you're doing something else with the pulp. So at our retreats, I make a raw food pizza with a dehydrated buckwheat cracker that has carrot pulp in it. And it's really delicious. And then we top it with some raw pesto and cashew cheese. That's really good. So we're there. We've got our carrot juice. Oops. There goes our carrot juice. And then I'll pour that in the Vitamix. You can use any blender. It doesn't have to be a Vitamix. Blend it up and look how fast. You've got lunch. Or you might have it as, every once in a while, I serve this before dinner in little soup cups. My husband absolutely loves this recipe. So I'm going to scoot on over here and start
It's just amazing how fast it is.
Okay, look at how fast. Lunch, done in minutes. So then I just pour it in a bowl. And there we go. We've got our lunch, our raw soup.
Are those bowls from Costco? I think I have the same bowls as you.
They're great bowls.
I love them. They're all different. They're 6 in a set. I got them from Sheri for the holiday gift one year. I love those bowls.
They are wonderful and they are sturdy. They've held up. So I haven't gotten any chips or anything. So, you can decorate this with some toasted pumpkin seeds or anything you would like, but or it's delicious just plain. So that is my contribution.
Well,
And
thank you, Sheri. And I've been posting your link in the show notes in the chat if people would like to support you and grab the bundle from you. Other than your offering, anything you like in the bundle?
oh my goodness. Well, I just did a show with Amanda, I think I'm pronouncing her name correctly, who has spicy smoothies and weight loss. And that sounded so interesting. She uses a lot of different spices and herbs, and she's from France. And so she's got lots of different ideas. They use more spices and herbs there, and then maybe we do always in the US. So her recipes sounded wonderful, and you always have great recipes.
Thank you. When are you going to Rancho again? This year or next year?
Now, I've done my 2 times this year.
That's right. They're getting pretty strict about that now. So because we'd come every week if they have us. Yeah, the chef's now only once a year. It used to be able to go up to 4, but now it's about once a year. So
And
anyway,
for
well,
yeah.
that's great. Well, thank you. And I don't know if I know that the juicer you have is wonderful, but for some people the price point might be a bit high. And I hear that TriBest has made a knockoff of the Nama J2. I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen the comparison video yet from John Kohler, but I was wondering if you were familiar with it.
I'm not. I haven't tried it, and I would be very interested in seeing what it's like.
Because
Yeah,
if it's only a couple of $100s, which is much less, maybe an extra one for travel or something, so you don't take your good one with you all the time.
yeah, there you go. Yeah. Well, I'll have to check it out and see.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Jerry. Your recipes are so easy and so healthy.
it was fun. Thank
Thank,
you.
thank you. And thanks all of you for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live, especially those that watched all 6 today. You deserve a medal. I'm going to take a little rest now in my zero gravity chair with my dog Bailey, because we got a lot more shows tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time with Angelica Govert. She is going to be talking about yoga for everybody. Just know it's not just recipes in the bundle. It's all kinds of stuff, including lots of fitness stuff. Take care, everyone.